All right. So MUS 499 Beatmaker 2 here at University of Illinois. We're excited to have a very special guest lecture. Let me see what I got on my notes here. Professionally known as DJ Burn One, American DJ, record producer, and songwriter, has worked with a number of prominent hip hop artists, including recognized Gucci Mane, Yellow Wolf, Ritz, Lil White, S.L. Jones, Young Dro, ASAP Rocky, Scotty Pill, and Don Toliver, as most recently as last year. The architect of really, to me, one of the architects of the Southern mixtape, if you know anything about that. His work was actually featured on Hip Hop Evolution on Netflix. They talked about the Southern mixtape. Did Gucci Mane's, I think, first three mixtapes. Is that correct? Y'all put it together for DJ Burn One.
Hey, thank y'all for having me.
Floor is yours, my brother. You've been here many times, man. We respect what you got to say.
Yeah, definitely. Appreciate you for having me. Um, One second, I'm trying to make sure I get my audio up. Sounds a little bit funky on my side. Like the overall audio. Okay, cool. Yeah. Appreciate y'all for having me today. So my idea initially was go through a bunch of different effects and stuff, but they just got me set up with this new computer here at school. I teach at Georgia State University as well. And then I have the online class that runs periodically up there. And I'm a guest lecturer at Kennesaw State here as well. But today I figured like a good thing that we could do is just showing a little bit of the cooking process. I may do 1 or 2 beats depending on how much time we got. And basically like showing y'all how you can set yourself up for success when it comes to working with the artist. Because I think a lot of times, like while we're creating, it's easy to just keep layering sounds and add sounds and add sounds. And a lot of times our brain will tell us it's missing one sound. You know, like, this beat is almost done, but it's missing one sound. And a lot of times that one sound is the artist, right? Like that one little melody sound you could add right at the end could be the one sound that the artist like, man, I like that beat, but that one sound, I don't like that. And you don't have the files on you, or a lot of times, I promise you, 99.999% you'll have an artist that likes the beat and they'll be like, oh, I don't like that one sound, go to the next beat. And you're like, hold on, I can take that sound out. And they're like, no, it's already thrown me off of my thing. So one of the things I'm definitely trying to do these days is simplify, but like have it be like really compact and musical at the same time. Like leaving space for the artist, but not because I think when people hear simplify, it's like, oh, we got to dumb down the music. It's not necessarily that. It's just leaving space for the artist. Because a lot of times, if you have 14 melodies and counter melodies and all this stuff going on, the artist is going to be like, well, I can't hear nothing to it. Have you ever had an artist tell you that? I like this beat, but I can't hear nothing to it. It's because there's too many sounds in it. So now I'd err on the side of like being slightly underproduced than being a 0.5% overproduced. Just going to be a better way. So I found this sample. I found this sample that I heard on Instagram, so I bought the pack. Original samples, I'm sure Professor Holden has been telling y'all about it, but like royalty-free samples or samples that people create and sell as packs, and even art, because I think this is royalty bearing. You can pay $30 and use these samples and guarantee you'd have a clearance on it. To where, a situation like the 2 first records I did on ASAP Rocky's project, I didn't get paid for those for 10 years because of one, like Lionel Richie was one of the writers on there. And apparently he wanted a ridiculous amount of money. And so they didn't feel like paying that money. So they released the whole album as a mixtape. And it took me until the 10-year anniversary to actually get paid for that. So whereas if I use something like this, like a sample that I would still have to pay royalties on, but that has a guaranteed master clearance, then I would never have that issue. I'd have been able to just tell them, hey, what percent do y'all want? Work it out. And then, put out the record and have the label pay you. So I definitely encourage y'all. I'm not saying do not sample, existing records that other people and other publishers own the copyrights and publishing on. That's definitely still valid, but using samples that people are specifically putting out to be used in hip hop, R&B, whatever type of modern production is definitely the way that I would go. And then a lot of times people around us are actually very musical. And so a lot of times if I know somebody's really dope on the guitar, piano, or something like that, I'll tap in with them and be like, hey, send me some riffs or send me some loops or something like that.
Hey, Burnwell, real quick, bro.
Uh-huh.
'Cause I want to underscore this for them. So we've had a couple of different guest lectures the past few weeks, right? And the
Uh-huh.
theme of the week always seems to pop up when 2 different guest lectures say the same thing, right? So last week, 2 different guest lectures. Hey, bust your drums, right? This week, you said the exact same thing. The last guest lecture got the sample placement on 21 Savage's album, right? They just did the sample, right?
Mm.
This is the theme of this week because you're saying the exact same freaking thing, right?
Oh,
and a
yeah.
room for the musicians and a school for the musicians, right? You got all these people that can sing, play, whatever. You already know, starting to know how to sound design to make stuff sound like samples, right? This is the message right here. Message. All right, go ahead, bro.
Nah, definitely. You know, because it's like to me, I don't want any issues between somebody giving me my money and having to wait 10 years for it ever again, you know. That's like I discovered Pierre Bourne. Y'all may or may not know that. I discovered Pierre Bourne out of a school here called SAE. And that was the first thing I told him was don't sample. And I taught him how to make his own samples and worked with him for 6 months. And like 2 months after that, he came out with Magnolia with Playboy Cardi, you know, and ended up like changing rap production for the past 10 years. So definitely learn how to make your own. And you know, it's fun learning how to sample, but being able to make your own music sound like samples to me is like the real challenge. So here's a sample that I found. I'll play it for y'all for a second. Super fire. So a lot of times when I'm looking for stuff to sample, I'm looking for is it a dope vibe? Does it feel fresh? Is the instrumentation, the musicality, the chords they're using, does all of it feel like fresh? And is it like touching my soul? Because if it grabs me, then it might grab somebody else. If it doesn't grab me, I can't expect it to grab anybody else. So that's the first thing. The other thing that I'm looking for is does it have multiple sections that I can go in and use, right? So it's like I'm already, before I even try to figure out what I'm about to do with this, I already hear 4 different sections. So I know I can put a really good arrangement behind it. So really, to me, like this is a layup. This is going to be the easiest beat to make right here. And you can take it any direction. The next thought is like, who is this for? A lot of times, unless I'm specifically working on a project, like I just executive produced Trinidad James' new album, really dope, really different. So it's like if you're working on a project, you're already kind of thinking certain things like, oh, I would do this a little different or do that. But a lot of times I'm just making beats and just creating just to make myself happy. So in this case, you know, I'm not really looking specifically for anybody. So I'm just going to listen to it and try to like think of a pocket and kind of think of like my first kind of thoughts are like, what kind of track do I hear on it? And then from that point, that kind of informs the sounds that I'll use because I'm real selective about the sounds I use. I find a lot of people ask questions like, how do you get your drums to knock? How do you get, you know, your stuff to sound so professional and whatever? But a lot of times people just aren't using the right sounds. You know, you can go to Splice, you can go wherever, but pick better sounds. That's why I tell a lot of people, like, make sure your kicks have body and they have punch. And, you know, like a kick drum should sound like somebody knocking at your front door. If it doesn't sound like a primal feel of somebody like beating on your front door, then the kick's not good enough. Pick another kick. There's 1,000 kick drums out there. Take like another minute or two scrolling through kicks to find a better kick, as opposed to using a crappy kick that doesn't have body. And now you're sitting here trying to compress it and EQ it and add distortion and do all this stuff. You've Swiss cheesed up a sound and you still haven't got to just a base level of a good kick drum yet. And then the same thing with snares and claps and everything. Like with this, I'm already hearing like, I want a rim. I want a rim snare. Like I could go trap snare, I could go whatever clap, but I'm thinking, let me get a rim. So I'll probably do that just that way I can go and get my head bobbing. And then also before I even start doing anything, I try to flip it. So right now it sounds great. Like I can automatically put drums on this as it is, but I always try to like make it my own. And sometimes like flipping and mangling a sample can make something better. And then sometimes it can completely take that vibe away and just be like, it was really better before you touched it. Like if you listen, I just got a root canal too. So that's why I'm talking a little bit weird. But if you listen to A$AP Rocky's Rolling Up that I produced, I didn't change that loop at all. It literally is just like 2 different loops. One part has an acoustic guitar on the hook, and then I added like an arpeggiated synth. But the loop was so dope. Every time I tried to flip it, it made it worse. So I'm like, we'll keep it the same. As compared to like Houston Old Head, I chopped that sample into like a million pieces to get it to time stretch and do what I wanted to. So never feel like you have to do the same thing every time. And this is the biggest thing I could tell y'all. Don't be afraid to do something because it's easy. A lot of times something may come easy and we're like, oh man, that's so easy. It's like, it's not about whether things are difficult or not. It's like, is the beat jamming? How is it catching the artist? How is it catching the listener? That's the only thing that matters. We can get caught up in the X's and O's of being like, oh, I'm tired of doing a two-step hi-hat, or I'm tired of this sound or whatever. But fans and artists are not listening for that at all. They're listening for like, does this sound fresh? And is there a pocket like for me to find that I can get in there and do my thing and I can really shine as an artist? So definitely keep all that in mind. So let's just try to flip it real quick. And if the flip doesn't work, then like I said, I'm already happy with where we're at. So let's try to pitch it up a little bit and see. And like to me, if I wanted to make like a hip hop beat, like with natural sounding drums, that would be cool because it's a little bit faster than what the OG was at. Let's try to put it down a little bit. And I'm already bored. So we're gonna leave it at the original. I promise you, I just go snap decisions. A lot of production is like study long, study wrong. As long as you're sitting there like trying to stare at it and be like, you've already lost it. It should be all feel. You should be able to just create and like just be completely instinctual. And then after you get done, take a day off and come back to it and then use your intellect. Like you're using two different sides of your brain to compose. So let's start with this. I'll probably start with this little part over here. Already heard. And so what I like to do is just go ahead and just color code stuff because I already know I want to be able to visually see these different parts. I don't want to sit here and be guessing like, oh, what's what. Ableton will do weird stuff, so you want to make sure that it didn't fade in the beginning of your kicks or snares. Because you see that right there? That will kill your transient. It doesn't sound that big of a difference. It actually does. If you do that on kicks, you're gonna be like, why aren't my kicks hitting as hard? A lot of people say like Ableton doesn't knock as hard as other programs. I think it's because of little stuff like this. And also if you have it in warp mode, it'll like sound a little bit different and won't knock as hard either. So I'm gonna just get like a little snare going here. Something I've been on lately, I love usually I make beats. I make beats on everything. FL Studio, I got an MPC Live 2. I love making beats on that. SP404, MK2. I got Ableton. I make beats on everything. But something I've been into recently is getting hi-hat midis just because they're interesting. Somebody's like sat there and programmed a whole bunch of hi-hats and they've done something I would normally do. Now you could probably sit there and say you're cheating. There's no cheating in music. Like think about what people were saying about, people saying a lot of things about Puff Daddy now, but back in the 90s, they're like, you're cheating for using samples that were already hits. No, he's playing the game. The game is set up for you to like make money off of nostalgia. Think of how much corporations make off of nostalgia every day. It's like the game is set up in a way for you to do that. So something like this, like using a hi-hat MIDI, it's not cheating. Using the sample that I bought, it's not cheating because I had to find this sample and my taste told me this is good, right? Just like when I go through these, I could use any of these, but I'm going to pick the one and kind of chop it up and make it my own because that's my flavor. I'm making it my own. So let's go through a couple of these. Changing my sample. Sounds pretty cool to me, so I'll keep building. My headphones are a little bit low and I don't know how to fix it, so y'all just have to bear with me. One big thing that I see a lot of people mess up with their low end, and they're like, how do you get your low end to sound so clean and so big? A lot of times people aren't understanding the difference between monophonic and polyphonic. So anything I'd say above maybe 100 hertz, you're fine having polyphonic. Like, of course, if you want to play chords, you're going to need to play multiple notes at the same time. But if I have an 808, I say that one because I can actually kind of hear that one a little bit. If I have it like this, right? Now, if I have it on 6 voices, like it comes on default, and I'll hit the next note. Y'all hear that? That flutter? Terrible, terrible, terrible. So I hear a lot of people with their 808, and every time they go to the next note, it's stepping on the last note. So you get like this flutter and this weird thing. Like imagine if you're playing a live bass, you have to mute the note before you go to the next note. Otherwise, it sounds like a mesh, right? So same thing with your 808, sub bass, bass synths, live bass, anything on the low end, including kicks too. You want to make sure that you have like a solid, a nice monophonic, or like I said, one voice to what you got going on, that we don't have just like a whole lot of overlapping weird sounds. Find the root note. Cheat code with 808s to figuring out what the actual pitch is turning it up an octave. DJ Spence, who everybody loves how he he didn't create the 808 of where it just hits with the 808 and no kick, but like his main thing of watching him, how he finds the pitch of kicks, he'll cut up the octave to where you can really hear the pitch of what it is, find it, and then pitch it back down a couple octaves. So that was what I was just doing right there. One of those notes, baby. We'll check it real quick. Into the kick, and then we'll get into arrangement. Drum rack. Again, one voice. And a lot of times too, like these are great drums, so you don't have to do it, but a lot of times how you know something's not a good sound is that it doesn't sound modern or current, right? So like if you listen to just the evolution of drums over the past 60 years, drums have progressively gotten shorter. So like if you listen to like the 80s was like all about gated reverbs and these, like these really big, long sounds. The 90s got a little bit shorter, especially because stuff was sampled. But nowadays, like everything's like really short. So it's like if you want to make your drums sound more modern, shorten them. Like again, these are really modern drums, but a lot of times I'll see a kick drum that's almost like 2-in-1, and so I have to bring this way up here and cut it off. That way it sounds modern. Yeah, let's program a kick real quick. That's one of the reasons why I really love the MPC, because I love doing like a little quick 64th note roll right there, but Ableton's not letting me get it, but it's fine. So now let's get to arrangement. Again, I like this main loop right here for the hook. I'll probably run that twice. This other one comes in right there. Probably bring it back right there. Let's see. Here's where I'll start doing EQ moves and stuff like that. Like, I know I need to get that low end out of the way because, again, two basses happening at the same time. Anything happening under 100, other than the kick and the 808, is going to clash. So I need to make sure I get that low end out of the way. And sometimes I'll even do this right here because that sounded fine right there. That low end sounded fine on that. I'll move it to another track. That way, when it opens up, it still has the bass in there because it's not clashing with nothing. And then when the actual beat comes in, I have this filter in here that's cutting right around 100. Let's check it out. That's not a little stutter kick right there. One more time. people, like a lot of times that's what I do as I'm playing it down. I like doing the arrangements on the fly. Also, I'm a DJ, so I always play off the fly for the crowd. So like right here, I know like right when the first verse comes in, I want that little drop right there so the rapper can say something or artist can say something impactful. Just like right here, I want to drop the 808 out just because it's been going the whole time. And I might even put that on the track where it's not filtered out again. Beat drop. Supposed to take that kick out. And because those hi-hats are doing so much, I'm not gonna add like a crazy I'm not gonna add any crazy open hi-hats. There's one I've been liking lately. It's funny. It's like 1 second. Maybe oh, it's in here. There we go. Something about a flanger on an open hi-hat I really love. Let's put it right on the one. Classy, real classy, right? So another thing I love doing is just throwing in some oh, and I didn't move them over because I'm goofy. I like sweeps. Let me see if I have any sweeps in here. I feel like the sweeps are really it's fine. I love sweeps because I feel like they give like everything a little bit of a little transitional energy. So let's say we put one right here. I'll probably put it right in that gap. Shorten it up. Then duplicate it out. Let's see. And yeah, like for this one, that'd be about it. You know, like I think a big thing is like I'm always making sure when I finish a beat, I'd probably pull the volume down a little bit more too. That way it's not pushing into the limiters hard. I was just trying to make sure I was able to hear it. Yeah, you never want to like super going into your limiter because basically the limiter is just a compressor with a 20-to-1 ratio. So as soon as you see this attenuating, that means every time your kicker snare is hitting, it's pulling it down. You never wanted to be doing that much work on your master. But yeah, I'd probably just put my beat tag here on the front and I'd be good to go. You know, I'm working with CEO Trail and some other people right now. That one's good to go out. I think, you know, a lot of artists, like, I mean, a lot of producers in the beginning, we tend to think it's all about the beat. And it's more so about like developing relationships with artists and figuring out how you're going to get this music out to the world. Like when I met Gucci Mane, it wasn't so much that he loved what I was doing. He saw me making a name for myself in the streets, like constantly releasing mixtapes, but it wasn't like I was the most talented, I had the biggest tapes or anything like that. It's just the fact that I reached out to him and I found him and I found value in what he was doing because I met him before he even put out So Icy. Um, and I was trying to like push him on this idea of doing mixtapes, and he didn't know what it was at the time. So I was kind of like, I've always stayed on like the cutting edge of like the next thing of that's about to happen. So like the best advice that I could tell y'all is like get really dope into where the music is like clockwork. You know, like that didn't take me that long. Like somebody else would have taken forever. Like, what snare am I gonna use? What 808 am I gonna use? Whatever. You know, I may live with this for a day and come back and swap the 808 or put like a little bit of a different 808 pattern here or there, something like that. But I'm not overthinking it. I find like a lot of producers overthink things, and because of that, they get so intricate and so they overdo everything. And then you play it for an artist, and they're like I was saying earlier, that's great, but what am I going to do with it? I can't hear anything to it. It sounds like a complete finished idea. So I'd say like really focus on like meeting your peers, meeting people, like putting yourself out on social media. Like a lot of people say, oh, I don't like social media. That's cool, but like I had to make my name in the streets every day. Like I was in high school releasing mixtapes. And I promise you, every day I got out of high school, I was driving around 285, which is a big circle around Atlanta. I would drive around 285 and literally meet different CD store owners, drop off CDs on consignment, listen to them tell me what I was doing wrong, go to the next store, listen to more of what I was doing wrong, and then go home, come up with a better product, make those changes, and do it again. Like that's literally how I made my name every day getting out in the streets. Like y'all have the ability to build up your name, build your brand, like get fans, promote yourselves just by posting online. You don't even have to leave your house. You know, y'all are at a dope school with like all this equipment. I'm constantly telling my students, set your camera up and film. Even if you don't know what the content you're going to do is for that day, film yourself doing something. And then in a couple days, record a voiceover and put a lo-fi beat behind it or put some of your music behind it and just talk about what you're doing. Let people come on your journey with you. Um, the the main thing is like everybody needs to break out of their shell and just learn how to talk to other people, you know, because that was like my biggest thing. Before I had any talent, I had great taste in music. But other than that, it's like I could just talk to people, anybody, no matter what. And so that's like the biggest thing that I can impress upon y'all is like get used to talking to people, you know, get used to getting into sessions and playing beats that you feel like this artist should get on. And then when they come with something, give them positive, like give them some type of feedback, you know, like, oh, this was cool. That was good. What if we tried a different hook? What if we tried whatever? Like that was another big thing that people really, really liked about me when I was young is that, you know, when I'm working with T.I. and then when I was really young, like 18, I would just say, hey, that's not a good song. We should do something else or, you know, something like that. And it's like, who's this kid in here that just feels bold enough to tell us, you know, people who know what we're doing that this isn't good, but they trusted and believed me. And then we put out products like projects and all the mixtapes that released, like, cause I did Young Dro's first mixtape, um, along with Gucci Mane's first mixtape, the Young Dro's first mixtape, Big Country's first mixtape, like a lot of the PSC, I was doing tapes for them. And all the projects we did a little bit better than the regular stuff they were doing. And it's because I was running quality control. I wasn't just going off of what they said. You know, it's like I find a lot of people are just happy to be in the room, and that's great. But you also have to have an opinion that's worth sharing at the same time, because that's really how you add value. And if you don't have an opinion, then hey, ask everybody, hey, you want me to go grab y'all a coffee? You know, still find a way to add value, or you know, hey, does anybody need anything? Yeah, I'm hungry. You know, cool. What do you want? I'll go pick it up for you. You know what I'm saying? Find a way to add value until you get to that point. But like while you're sitting there in these sessions with people, don't be lost in your phone. You know, like on one hand, I find people say they hate social media, and on the other hand, I find they can't get off the shit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, hey, really, really, like while you're in sessions, focus and pay attention. And like a lot of times, recording engineers, I don't know who wants to be a recording engineer. A lot of people just aren't paying attention, and people love working with me as a recording engineer. Because as soon as somebody records on the mic, within their first two takes, they always tell me, "Wow, I sound like I'm mixed already," because I already have a little bit of reverb. I might have like a little bit of delay with the side chain on there. I got a slap delay. I got like some room verb. I got like just some soft effects that are just going to create a halo around the voice to where the artist feels invincible and they feel like they can do anything. And I'm always attentive and I'm paying attention. I'm listening and I'm always coming up with ideas. So like be an active participant in the things that you want to do. So if you want to become a recording engineer, be a very active listener. Like always have feedback. Like a lot of people will record people and just let them record nonstop and never like hit the button and tell them what they think. It's like next, you know, it's like, was that good? Was it bad? Could it have more energy? Could it have more feeling? You know, a lot of times we don't
I do
realize
have one
music falls
question.
under the entertainment umbrella.
I do have one
So,
question. Can you talk a little bit about the Don Toliver?
oh yeah, yeah. So the Don Toliver was interesting because that's like the definition of how I manifest things that come into my life. So maybe like 2.5 years ago when he dropped the Life of a Don album, I really found out about him. I'm like, yo, this guy's dope. Like, I love his work. I really want to work with him. And I like found his engineer, Derek 206, got really cool with him on Instagram, sent him some samples and stuff. Never heard back. Sent him beats, never heard back. Found a couple other people in the camp, never heard back. And then right before his new album that came out last February, Lovesick came out. I got a email, or no, I got a text or a DM on Twitter from Cardo. Cardo got wings. He's like my homie from back in the day. I used to tour DJ for Yellow Wolf, and I met him on tour there because we were opening up for Wiz when Cushion Orange just came out, which was a really dope time. But I'd known Cardo since back then, and we've always been cool and made music together. And he was like, he DM'd me one morning. This is like a month before the latest album dropped, and he was like, "Hey, yo, we did the intro on Don Toliver's new album." I was like, "What?" I was like, "I've been trying to get in contact with him." I was like, "I couldn't find anybody." He was like, "Oh yeah, I used one of your samples." I was like, "What sample?" And it was a sample that I'd sent Cardo 2.5 years earlier. That was literally I'd sent it to him before Life of a Don came out. And I guess one day he's cooking up in the studio with Don, works on the beat, and that ends up becoming the intro. 2.5 years later, you know, from the sample that I'd sent him, that's probably like, you know, at this point 4 or 5 years old now. Um, but that became the intro for the project for his album. It's called Love Sickness. And so I think that's really dope because like literally not almost every day, but pretty close to every day, I'm like, how can I like I want to make music with Don Toliver. Like, he's one of the dopest, most innovative artists that are out. How can I do that? And I did everything, and literally none of those things worked. But that manifestation of putting that energy out into the universe, I don't know what y'all believe in, but the universe is real. Like the powers of the universe, karma, all this stuff is like absolutely real. Um, and so putting that intention behind every day of saying, this is really what I want. I feel like the universe was like, it's not going to be in the way you want it, but we're still going to give you what you want because you won't stop talking about it, you know? And so I think that's really cool. I mean, it was the same thing with ASAP Rocky. Like those beats from that time were from the first year that I made beats. And I was already doing mixtapes and already had made a name for myself, tour DJing and was A&R and stuff. And I was uninspired with music. And I was like, either I can complain about music or I can be part of the solution and learn how to make the music that I want to hear. And so I said, I'm taking a year off. I'm not doing anything but making 5 beats a day. I think I'll still host some mixtapes, but I'm like, I'm gonna make 5 beats a day for a year. And I stuck to it. Every day I made 5 beats. No matter what happened, what's going on in my life, I make 5 beats a day. But at the end of the year, when I was done, I had all these beats and I was just looking at them as practice. You know, it's almost like a basketball player. This is just jump shots in the gym, just practicing. And so there was an early website that's kind of like BeatStars. It was like a beat leasing website. It was called SoundClick. And
Soundclick.net.
yeah, SoundClick. And so I just threw up a bunch of the beats on there. And so I literally had went to New York to do a press run for another project, like right after Peso came out, and I was trying to find him. Like I was hitting up everybody. I was like, "Yo, can you get me with ASAP Rocky? Can you find him?" Nobody could get an in on him. Everybody knew him, but nobody could like get him to sit down to do some music with him. And literally the week I got back, 2 days after I got back, I got a call from RCA, Brian Leach, who was over the project. He's like, "Hey, you got 2 tracks on ASAP Rocky's first album." And I was like, "What?" I was like, "I was just in New York trying to find them." I was like, "What beats?" I was like, "I haven't even sent any beats." And he played them over the phone, and they were definitely like 2 of the beats from SoundClick. Apparently, ASAP Yams was a fan of mine, and we got really cool over the years too. Rest in peace. But he was a fan of mine for mixtapes and everything, and he found out I was doing beats. He's like, "These are probably good," and played it for ASAP Rocky, and that's how Houston Old Head and Rolling Up came about. But again, it's like that intention like turns to manifestation when you don't let go of it. And it's like you can keep trying. You may not get it in the way that you think. Like I thought I was gonna get, you know, walked into a session with them and I get to playing beats. But you know, like seeing how artists like different processes are, it's like getting into the studio with them may not be the best thing for them. You know, they may just need to hear a beat on an off time where they're not really thinking about something and they hear the beat and like, oh, that's really dope. You know, like probably at the time, me walking into a session, ASAP Rocky probably didn't know who I was, but Yams was a big fan. So Yams was able to like big me up and be like, nah, Burn One's dope. He's from the South. Da, 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 he did this with Gucci, X, Y, and Z. And so having somebody big you up in that way is almost more valuable than me being in the room and being like, I would love to work with you, or you know what I'm saying? So it's like I just, I really want to press upon y'all to like get your face card up, get your name up, get your brand up. Like if y'all want to be producers, be posting up on Instagram, be going out to beat battles. Up there, there's a bunch of beat battles. I know because I was up there. Y'all have beat battles and different things up there. Y'all have different like hip hop communities. Join those, make music. You know, put yourself out there and don't be afraid. Like I feel like a lot of people are in this holding pattern of I'm not ready. I hear people working on projects for like 3 years. Oh, it's not ready. Put it out, put it out. Because the best thing that I did was just release, 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 release. And then you'll get feedback from the marketplace. Oh, you could do this different. Oh, you could do this different. All right, cool. I'll take that into consideration for the next thing that I'm working on. But I'm not gonna let imperfection stop me from releasing music and taking a step forward. I tell people this all the time. Perfection is the enemy of progress. It is. Like you're sitting here waiting for these perfect times of I need all the stars to align to release my music or to start posting content or to do this. And the stars are never going to align like what you want. The people who are rewarded are the people who just go out there every day and just go after it and just go after it and aren't afraid to fail and like are not afraid of embarrassing themselves. I was just telling my wife the other day, I don't know what embarrassment feels like. So many times I've DJ'd and you switch back over to the other deck thinking you're about to play just the perfect song and the song itself just falls flat and the crowd looks at you like, why did you play that? Or you didn't turn off the high pass filter from the blend. You know what I'm saying? Or you play it and it's like, there's no low end. And you got to look like it's like there's so many times I've just fallen flat on my face in sessions, DJing and other stuff that embarrassment just doesn't like it can't stop me. I still feel it, but it's not going to stop me from continuing to take a step forward and continue to work. And I feel like that's why I'm a professor at a school now. That's why I continue to level up because I'm not afraid to fall on my face and I give myself room to fail. I tell my students that all the time. Give yourself room to fail. It's like every time somebody tells me why they're not doing something, they always say, but what if? I'm like, let's just say this terrible thing that you think is going to happen happens. Like you release your project, the mixes aren't perfect, your rapping could be better, the beats could be better, whatever. Did you die? Can you not put out another project? No. Okay, it's all good. Keep it going. Drop another one, drop another one. And now we live in a dope age of where you can re-upload music. So say you do drop an album and you drop another album and another one, or 3 songs, whatever. And then by the time you get to the 3rd or 4th project or song, you're like, wow, my mixing's better. Just because I'm doing the thing, I'm getting better. Really, that first song doesn't represent me. You can completely take it off of streaming. Or you could be like, just the mixing could be better. And you can remix it and upload it. There's never been a time in history where you could do that. Never. So take advantage of the opportunity. Like step into your future. Like don't be afraid to put yourself out there. It's the end of my rant. Sorry.
No, that's a good question.
If y'all have any questions or anything, I'm here. Is anybody talking? I can't hear nothing.
No, nobody's saying a word.
I didn't go too deep, did I? I got everybody
No,
stuck.
I mean, in fact, what you illuminated was how simple things can be.
Super simple. Fronts. It's not difficult.
I wonder if y'all are communicating with artists. I'm proud of myself as I heard you talk, because for everything you suggested they do, I've built a system for them, right? Brian, you came to Campus Culture Saturday, right? You met artists?
Yeah.
You chopped it up, talked, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The engineers have found work by work, through Campus Culture, that's been a big deal. What's funny? Remember when we were doing the Campus Culture interview and it started getting boomy and kind of ringy and Paul was running around trying to help the engineer?
Oh, yeah.
We use that as a case study in critical audio listening now. Go back to that clip a lot. Because the book was saying like, hey, if you're clipping, the light can tell you, but if it's something else, there's no light for that. And so it's just the example of like how to use your ears. I don't know why I went off on that tangent.
Oh man, I mean, a lot of stuff you have to learn the hard way. You know, it's like now that that happened, when that happens again, you know exactly how to solve it. You know, it's like,
But yeah, so now that we have campus culture and we're doing the one mic performances, it's really become a place where, all right, so they know that the artists that are on this platform are investing in their careers. You know what I mean? However big or small. So if I show up there, I'm gonna meet artists that are spending money to buy beats, that are spending money to, get engineers, that are spending money to get on platforms. You know what I'm saying? So that's become a thing. We haven't been doing as many beat battles, but I've kind of left it up to them to like they need to organize their own beat battles. You know what I'm saying? Like because I got to go out and do
yeah,
this other stuff. We certainly, press play in here, but y'all should go talk to Tristan. Tristan said he organized the beat battles. I asked him about that in the spring and over break, and he ain't say nothing back to me. But yeah, as far as like opportunities, like we're bringing Boom 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 Writing Camp here to campus.
nice.
Yeah, so all that kind of stuff. So yeah, man, gotta get out, get on the road, get in these IGDMs. Nobody said, so we said, do you have any questions? And nobody said anything. The question I'd be asking is like, hey, burn one. Like, can I send you some samples? Like, what email would I want to send that to?
Oh yeah. Yeah, one of the students that won the beat battle, he sends me samples all the time. I probably got like 50 beats with him.
Sire.
Can't think of his name right now. What's his name?
Sire.
Sire. Yeah,
Shree,
I got like
yeah.
50 beats with him. He loads me up every month with like a whole new pack, and I cook up all the time. All the time. And I tell him ways like he could get better and do this and do that, you know? And he listens. And every time he sends me a new pack, it's a little bit better, a little bit better, you know? That's what it's about.
Are you engineering? Is that how you know?
My major?
Yeah.
No, I'm policy. I know through hip hop. We're both execs. Hip hop collective.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He's a senior now?
He's junior, but he's graduating.
Okay, cool. Questions? Burn one, man. That was perfect, man. Appreciate you, dog.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Thank y'all for having me. Can't wait to come back up there.
Yeah, you gonna put that email in the chat for me?
My email?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You said,
Where's the chat? Let me see. Oh, here it goes. Yeah.
the 5 Points Bakery. I think it's 5 Points Bakery.
Well, I got a sample email. I just put it in the chat.
Right. Also, but I'm talking about the IG stuff too, though.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah. At DJ Burn One, all spelled out at DJ BURNE. Yeah. Yeah. Follow me, hit me up. Don't be afraid to reach out.
All right, man. Hey, appreciate you. Let you get on about your way. Thank you for sharing your time, your expertise with us, and I hit you offline.
Hell yeah. Much love, y'all. Have a good
I
one.
appreciate you. Samples for burn at gmail.com. Samples to burn at gmail.com. You left it wide open for y'all, didn't you?
Yes.
Oh, you love that.
That was efficiency.
Not,
40 minutes.
he been doing it for